Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of Myst IV Revelation. Last time out, we were thoroughly exploring Serenia, brilliant age, very nice, proper, hippie commune out there. And we worked out some water wheels, we drew a nice map, and we got stuck on a few puzzles. We've warped now back to Tamana. We have a journal to read, and then we're going to be hitting up Spire for the first time and checking out what we have over there. In the chat, we have Starshadow X2, good morning to you, and we have Spiper, good morning to you. I hope you two are having a great weekend. Well, without further ado, let's see what Atrus has to say in his journal here. Oh no.
The first time I placed my hand on Serenia's linking panel, I remember thinking, this age will be unlike any I've journeyed to so far. And it was. The sky was crisp and clear. The rivers and waterfalls sparkled like diamonds. Even the worn paths threading through the canopies of stone took my breath away. I met a group of women who told me they had been expecting me, and as we talked late into the evening, they did seem to know a lot about me.
Creepy.
The more they explained why, the more impossible this story seemed. Of course, Catherine's ages have always struck me as impossible. Why should this one have been different? One of the stories the Protectors told me, that is what they called themselves, moves me to this day. Many lifetimes ago, a child from the village contracted a fever and died. His parents, who had loved him very much, decided to bury him under a waterfall and built a balloon to take him there. The parents' grief was so strong, however, that when they landed their balloon, they could only carry the child a short way.
We saw one of their hot air balloons,
so they set him down
we?
beside a giant flower and slept. All night, the mother's tears never stopped flowing. Eventually, they sank through the ground and bathed the flower's roots. Moved by the tears, the flower told the parents to carry their child. That is what they called themselves.
They never stopped flowing. Eventually they sank through the ground and bathed the
Many
flowers'
lifetimes ago,
roots.
a child from the village contracted
Oh,
a fever and died.
okay.
His parents, who had loved him very into her epistle. She would preserve his memories so they could visit him whenever they wished. Then the flower passed one of the tears back through her roots, turning it into a container to hold memories, and the father dove underwater to collect it. And that is how the memory chamber first displayed her power to the Serenians. Having read Catherine's descriptive book, I realized that the plant the Protectors called the memory chamber is but the fruiting body of a massive fungus. Like any fungus, it recycles dead organic material into nutrients. In this case, filled memory globes. Since Yisha has recently asked to see Serenia, I will share this explanation with her, as I did her brothers when they were her age. Yet I cannot help thinking that my scientific understanding of Serenia's pales in comparison to the Protector's simple tale.
Bro, just say magic.
I
It's
had not fully
fine.
realized how many years have passed since I visited this age. So when I stepped out of the linking cave with Yisha, I was pleased to see only a little has changed. A new group of women have replaced the Protectors I knew, but they seemed to be as friendly as the first. Yisha took an immediate liking to the one called Anya. And as we made our plans to spend more time here in the future, I felt confident our relationship with these women would be mutually beneficial. After an absence of several weeks, we returned to Serenia last night. Catherine agreed to accompany us, so we will stay for a week or more. This morning, I took advantage.
Right, okay. So Atrus puts his year first in the dates.
Pales.
Hang on, let's stop the narration there. Right, so Atrus puts the years first in his dates. So I'm assuming this is going to be months is the second number here. So that's 104714. 104714, 104715. Yeah, okay. Right.
Scientific understanding of Serenia's pales in comparison of Catherine's presence to re-explore alone. My route soon took me beyond Serenia's current memory chamber to the old abandoned flower which had served the village centuries ago. The man-made edifice surrounding the chamber was much the same as I remembered, although the flower itself was in far worse state of decay. I tried opening the door to explore inside, but found it locked. Just as well. 30 years ago, the protectors told me how the delicate inner heart of the chamber emits a strong fragrance as part of its reproductive cycle. The closer the chamber gets to maturation, the more toxic this gas.
Right, okay. So, where the second, what would you call it, like the bathysphere, the thing that's going to come down and collect the water, where the second one is, that's not been destroyed by Cirrus, that's the original flower. Right. And that's been abandoned, and the door still, in fact, locked.
Of Catherine's presence to re-explore becomes, forcing the protectors to find a new flower for their use. No doubt the collected fumes inside the original chamber would have made it impossible for me to survive there very long.
Okay.
Catherine says I should have seen it coming, but this morning, Isha asked permission to meet Serenia's ancestors. I tried to explain that the place the protectors called Dream is not real. How can it be?
Oh, Dream is actually a place.
For herself. So what am I to do? I suppose it will do no harm to let her try. From what Anya told me, it should take several months for Isha to learn how to dream. It has certainly been a while since I've had enough free time to concentrate on the crystal viewer's attachment. Keeping my inquisitive daughter occupied may end up being beneficial for us all.
That is classic Atrus parenting right there.
I cannot believe how quickly time has flown. Today we attended a ceremony on Serenia's celebrating Yisha's mastery of their customs. I must admit, although my doubts about the dream realm remain, seeing my daughter's pride as she received the protector's necklace made it all.
So that took about a year, because we're now in 105.
Yisha said something strange during our writing lesson today. She thought it was sad that Catherine rarely writes anymore.
Huh.
And asked if we should explain that just because someone dies after visiting an age doesn't mean the age's writer is responsible.
What?
Immediately, she was talking about my grandmother.
Oh!
And Catherine and I have never really described Anna's death, so how she knew this information is a mystery. When I asked, she said her necklace had said something while she was holding Anna's picture.
I think this is the first time we've had it confirmed that Anna's died.
Yet I must admit, Isha had displayed an uncanny knowledge of things she never witnessed ever since receiving the Protector's gift. I'd like to examine this necklace more closely, but at the moment the situation with Cirrus and Achenar takes precedence. Perhaps after my friend leaves us tomorrow.
We're the friend he's talking about. Yeah, okay, right. Interesting. Shroomfi in the chat, first time chatter, welcome to the stream. Oh boy, finally caught a stream. Good morning all, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great weekend. Here from the YouTube channel, I guess. Why are people named Anna always so ill-fated in fiction? Oh, really good question. Half the time they're posthumous, and when they're not, the story will require them to die at least once before it concludes. It's confirmed in Myst, depending on what version you play. Oh, okay, Anna's death confirmed in Myst. Right, okay. Well, we've only played 2021 so far. Oh, there's a gravestone. Totally didn't remember that. Ah, interesting. So Anna died in one of Catherine's ages. Huh. Do we know which one? Or is that sort of to be revealed later? If that's a spoiler, don't worry about it. But if it's like in one of the books or something, then yeah. I still have Book of Tiana on my birthday wish list. Why are people named Anna always so ill-fated in fiction? Do you know what? I'm literally going to have to plumb the depths of my mind palace now, because like the obvious one that springs to mind immediately is Anna Karenina, who I think dies in that book. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Hang on, hang on. What were the names of the little women? No, it was Joe, Amy, Meg and Beth. Because it's Beth that dies. Amy survives. Oh, spoiler warning for Little Women. Beth dies. Amy survives. But it's not Amy. It's not Anna. It's Amy. Ah. Let me think. Okay. Okay, chat. And YouTube comment section. Work together. Find us a literary Anna that is very much alive throughout their entire book. There we go. We are on our way to Spire. Let's check it out. I'm trying to think of other good literary Annas. Now, the common path, I guess, will be to read that book after you've visited both Haven and Spire and then gone to Serenia. Oh no, wait, the bridge is out this direction. We're going to need to go this way. In which case, you'd be reading that book almost at the conclusion of the story, possibly. Incidentally, just absolutely classic Atrus to be like, hey, do you know what? I got some projects on at the moment, so this whole thing where Yisha wants to like go off and learn this other thing for like 12 months, I can live with that. I've got some projects. Like, oof, bro. Tell me you didn't learn from your mistakes without telling me you didn't learn from your mistakes, right? I think it's really interesting that you can move your perspective around whilst the movies are going. At least sometimes. We have Everett Topanga in the chat. You should be asleep, but you'll stop by for a few minutes whilst you're here. You are absolutely welcome to stop by. Of course, Everett. It's great to see you. I suppose, probably, happy... No, it is Sunday where you are, by my reckoning. But happy Sunday to you. Okay, right, straight into the fireplace. For us. It's a pretty neat elevator overall. You like the title chime that plays when you reach the floor. Oh, the little chime that plays, not the title chime. Don't know what a title chime would be. Probably like... do, 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 do. You know, that kind of Myst sort of classic. Do, 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 do. Now, this is also not in the state that I left it in. Which is sus. But probably not suspicious. Bonk. Okay, my friends, we are... This chamber rotated differently in the intro. Did it? Huh. Well, my friends, we are visiting Spire for the first time. Let's check it out. Homely. Reminds me a little bit of the Iron Islands. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you know, scenic. So once again, we've got a little horn. To just let everyone know that we're here. And a little exchange port. Right, that's our linking book. We appear to have another book over there.
Dad told me you never wanted to learn Donnie when you were little. That's why he never taught you.
I guess I didn't back then. I was having too much fun learning other stuff. I was pretty stupid back then.
Here, maybe you should try learning now. With me.
Really? You'll teach me, Donnie?
Why not? Somebody should.
What an error. Yes, let's give the gentleman the tools he needs to literally write his way out of this age. You confess you have a pretty negative view on the age of Spire. You'll be curious to hear what I think. Very warm and cozy, just like Cirrus. Seems like most people dislike Spire from what I read see, but it was my fave. Spire is a very unique age, and its music has to be one of the highlights. It captures the moods Cirrus must have had when he explored each area. Blaze Inferni says Spire's my fave too, and welcome back to the stream, Blaze. Shroomfi, Atrus and Catherine definitely had a unique idea on the environment needed to rehabilitate. Do you know what? I was literally just thinking exactly the same thing. This is something we can open? Yes? No? Oh, do you know what? That music is pretty fire, isn't it? Mind you, I'm a sucker for cello, so... Wow. Yeah, surely to rehabilitate, what you want is you want like a proper kind of Care Bear age. Like Akonar's age, not the worst, right? Because he's going to learn to like live in harmony and collaborate with the animals and such like, right? I don't know. What have we got over here? Bonk! A lift. Do you know what this actually reminds me of, just immediately? It very much reminds me of the aesthetic of Captar. Everyone remember Captar? The Mare planet in Abduction. Looks a lot like that. The view is not much, TBH. But, yeah, okay, right. So we've come down the stairs. So we've got the central tower, which we can go back into, or we have these side roads here. Let's check out central tower first. This looks like a channel for something. Yeah. The elevator is out of service. Oh, so that does not actually appear to be a path. Or at least we've got to step here first. Oh, look at that! Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, they're playing with a little boat.
Come on. You must have seen it a million times growing up. What was it like? Father was writing. Mother was. Left of him. Who had the boat? I had the boat. Yes. Yes, I had the boat.
Wow.
I thought I was the only devious one in our family. But this... Oh, this is classic. No book, father, no linking. Fuck! Oh! Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Come on, Cirrus. Put that mind to work. Hatch yourself a plan. So we've got a rope that's cut.
Double passed through both loops. Beautiful knot. Let's just hope the linking book is down there.
Oh, so we can go down there. It might actually be our only way to go. That's a curious memory, isn't it? We've got a notch carved into here. So this is not a handle, it's probably a gauge. So we need to like knock whatever that is down by 3, I would presume. It does very much look like there's another path around there, doesn't it? We might have missed a path, but we're going to check this one out first. Haha. Imagine Cirrus trying to deal with Carnax and Mangries. Yeah, I mean, to be fair... Oh! That very much looks like a one-way path, doesn't it? Hey, you know what they say, right? Dress for the slide, not for the ride. Instead of becoming an ecologist, you probably would have started farming them. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay. So, Cirrus has been doing a little bit of metallurgy whilst he's been here, clearly, because what we have is we have tech. And if this is indeed an uninhabited age, yeah, all these steps and stuff, they're going to have been made by him, is the presumption. Yep, we're going to fiddle around with some stuff.
Looks like those circuit lessons you drilled into me in Voltaic have finally paid off, Father. Of course, figuring out how to complete this electrical network was 10 times more difficult, seeing how I had to build everything from scratch.
So what do we got? Oh, we can poke it. Poke, poke, poke. Yeah, nice reference back to Myst IV there, of course. You've heard arguments that the squeaky noise on the glassy part proves that you've been naked all along. I don't even know what to say to that. That kind of looks like a ladder, doesn't it? But no.
Yes! I knew it would work. I knew there was enough static electricity out there to be gathered by my conductors. Now, to stop wasting it in a useless display of light and actually channel it somewhere.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Oh no, I think the thing moved like that, did it? Wow, what do we got here?
Okay, no slip-ups this time. I really do not want to lose another ship.
A ship?
Garden magnet is on. Docking station conductors are charged.
Garden magnet.
Here goes.
Okay, what is it though? Button. Oh. Uh-huh. We can't actually move it. Bonk. Okay, wait. We've got a little blob in the thing here. Right, that's worth 4. 4 of them are lighting up. 2 of those are lighting up. 3 of those are lighting up. Now there's a little dot on the 2 right here. Oh no, now only 1 of these is lighting up. Huh? Wait. No, I think I did something wrong there, maybe. What? What's going on? What? Okay. Did we win? I mean, I guess we got the thing down to 2. I have no idea what we did there. But, hey, cool. So, there's a ladder here. Do you know what? Right? Thank you, Cirrus, for making your ladders actually look somewhat like ladders. So, we've got a ladder here. Like, should we come back to that? Okay. Where are we? Nice floating rock.
Impossible. Every scientific principle I know tells me these rocks shouldn't be floating. And yet, somehow, they are. Don't know how you did it, Father. But if you can write it, I can certainly use it.
Literally, just stick a wicker basket underneath it, and there you go. You fly off wherever you want, right? You just need to be able to control the up and down slightly. You don't always get stranded on a crystal mountain, but when you do, you prefer to make nanotechnology and circuit boards by hand. Yeah, do you know what? I mean, like, oof. If you got stranded on a crystal mountain, even the really most basic stuff, like, I think I would genuinely struggle with even the really basic stuff. Like how do you even extract metal from ore? Like, I understand the basic principle of it, that you got to get it really hot, but like, unless you're working with lead that you can just like throw over a fire, like, how do you get it that hot? I mean, that's I would probably literally fail step one.
Has to be fake. Has to be. But will getting to it allow me to finally reach the ground? Have to know. Have to get over there.
Okay, well, we can get over there because somehow we magically solved that puzzle. Pretty sure. Ah, so this is actually very much like, what's his name's lab, isn't it? Savidro's lab.
Remarkable. No change to its molecular structure, no buildup of illumination inside. As long as the crystal remains grounded, electricity just passes straight through it. Interesting.
I kind of feel like that's important in some way.
Remarkable. No change to its molecular structure, no buildup of illumination inside. As long as the crystal remains grounded.
So as long as the crystal is on the ground, it's a conductor. Got it. Okay, okay. We can work with that. Wow. Not only is Cirrus just making stuff, he's got enough spare time to make a drawer full of spare parts as well. Here we go.
It appears that I have underestimated him. I did not think he could be this devious. He always said Spire was dangerous, but I assumed he meant its people were violent. Violent and potentially xenophobic. The perfect combination with which to orchestrate a coup. But there are no people here. No prosperous civilization for me to rule. I see now how his linking panel fooled me. Congratulations, Father. This hand goes to you. I have established a temporary encampment near the vegetal cavern. The food I brought with me should last a month. After that, I will be forced to grow what I eat. The plants here are neither scrumptious nor overly abundant, but I have tasted several and find the nutrition is there.
Good thing none of them were poisonous.
I believe there may yet be a Myst linking book here. The simplest way for Father to have disposed of it would have been to jump off the palace as he touched it. There are other ways, of course, but I cannot ignore this possibility. I must at least attempt to reach the ground. This is fast becoming unacceptable. I have slid down every oddly shaped windpipe in this age, and have yet to see below the second cloud layer. I was fairly certain that at least 3 of the passages would prove successful. Yet even they dead-ended inside a magnificent sealed cavern full of crystals. The crystals themselves are curious. Something about their inner matrix makes them susceptible to a buildup of negative charges. When I touched one, I received a terrible shock. At the same time, the faint light that had been emanating from the crystal faded, and I heard a very curious hum, which ceased as soon as the crystal's charge was expended. I should like to study these crystals more thoroughly, and will institute a plan to mine the cavern extensively.
Okay.
Last night, I saw lights flickering in some of the other palaces. It occurred to me that I might not be alone. What if this age is like Stone Ship? Father never could explain how Emmett and Branch just appeared there. He said the art was always surprising.
Has that ever been explained?
Could it be that the lights I saw flickering were made by other people? What I would give to discover this is true. After all these months of solitude, just to have another person to talk to. About the floating rocks. There is a phosphorescent green mineral running through much of this age which exhibits strong diamagnetic properties. At least that is the most workable hypothesis I have devised that can explain how the rocks I see outside my garden are able to float. This has given me an idea. If I can capture one of the larger boulders, I should be able to turn it into a vessel, and thereby sail across the clouds to the nearest palace.
Okay, we've already got quite a lot to unpack on those pages, right? So, yes, Emmett and Branch, has it ever been explained how they appeared on Stone Ship? Like, I mean, they were the pirates, right? That just happened to live on that age, so... But there's nothing else on that age except for that island. Or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, he said something on the previous page, which... Yes, jumping off the spire and linking before you hit the ground... It's a very good idea. That's probably how I would get rid of the linking book as well, to be honest. So I think Sirius is definitely using his head there. Last point, diamagnetism. Oh man, this is one of those ones where it's like maglev trains. I think use diamagnetism to hover, but I don't think that's quite how this would, because doesn't that need, like, I don't know, don't you need like cooling and stuff, and I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to say something that's incorrect. It's been a long time since I studied that. You don't always struggle for survival, but when I do, I prefer also to manufacture enough machine parts to open a hardware store.
Last night, I saw lights flickering in some of the other palaces. It occurred to me that I might not be alone.
Okay.
What if this age is like...
Here we go.
The most difficult obstacle to achieving this will be maintaining the necessary altitude. I have noticed that these rocks float higher than the highest point on that palace. Forcing my ship to float lower than it prefers will take some doing.
Ballast, mate. Ballast.
For the past few weeks, I've been watching storms move through the second cloud layer. They appear as flashes of light inside the strata. The violence of these storms does not reach me in the garden. I encounter no rain, barely feel the wind. I'm completely safe here, nestled between layers.
Right, okay.
I do not know how this is possible. How could Father have created a world which exhibits so many scientific impossibilities? He never did explain how to write an age.
Maybe this is the Catherine age.
He never taught Agnar or I the art. I wonder now if I should have insisted. The crystals I mined from the lower cavern are really quite remarkable. There seems to be no limit to the amount of electricity they can store. Unfortunately, this makes working with them difficult. So long as a charged crystal is isolated, the energy inside it remains trapped in its matrix. But the moment the crystal even brushes against a grounded object, stored charge flows out, producing a most amazing song. I should like to capitalize on this singing ability, if only as a pleasant diversion. It might be nice to hear some music in these caverns. Regardless, I believe the crystals can solve my rock ship problem. By affixing them to some of the floating rocks, then casting them back into the clouds, I should be able to harness enough of Spire's natural electricity to fuel an electromagnet. The attractive force of the magnet, combined with the smaller magnetic fields of the lightning conductors, should be able to lower the ship and guide it to the nearest palace. It is definitely worth an attempt.
I don't always struggle for survival, but when I do, I like to reinvent Spotify as part of the process.
Pleasant diversion. Another storm is brewing as I write this. I can feel the hairs on my arms starting to rise. I'm almost crazed with anticipation, waiting to test the first conductor. My God, is this what Father felt? Every time his hand hovered above the panel of a book he'd just written? Did he feel this much excitement as he stood poised to learn if his theories had worked? Why did he never share this with me? If he had, perhaps things could have been different between us. The first conductor is glowing. Here goes nothing. No, 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 no! My calculations were perfect! The ship should not have broken free. The distance between the conductors must be too great. I'm going to have to add more to the system, but if I do, the electromagnetic pull will be too strong and the ship will crash to the floor. So can I counterbalance it? Create a second electromagnet in the roof of the garden. I am going to have to start building again and capture another rock for a ship. This mistake has set me back years. But I am close, so close to reaching the nearest palace, and from there maybe accessing the ground. I only hope the linking book still works.
Now, okay. We've not obviously had a good look at these storms, right? But the word over-engineering comes to mind here. You try to reach the ground, yeah? You just need to glide or float or climb downwards. My first thought would not be, let's reinvent diamagnetism. Let's reinvent nanotechnology. My first thought would be, let's see if we can weave rope. A lot of rope. And kind of work it from there, you know? Like pittons, hammer, you know. That's sort of the vibe I'd be going for.
Your faith in me is truly amazing, Mother. How long before I kill this one?
I'm getting the hang of Dos Equis spoofs. Sometimes kids just have bad vibes and you decide not to teach them how to be a god. That's pretty reasonable, yeah. Now that you think of it, this game kind of retcons Exile. By playing Exile, you'd conclude Cirrus and Achenar knew how to write ages by the time they got trapped. Would you, though? Because they're wreaking havoc across ages that Atrus has written. And of course doing incredible damage to the Myst library. But I don't know if there's a huge amount of evidence in Exile that they're able to write their own ages. Because otherwise they probably just would have done. Because if they hadn't written their own ages, if they had written their own ages, they probably just would have wandered off and just... They probably would have stolen a whole bunch of linking book material and gone and done their own thing. And Atrus would never have been able to find them. So this is interesting, because what we do not have is we do not have an amulet memory here, which strongly implies that this is a clue. So let's go and pop it over onto the... Let's go and pop it over into the notebook. But there's nothing really else in that garden. Is that a handle for a drawer? No. I don't always get stranded, struggling for survival, but when I do, I make sure my kitchen cabinetry is up to scratch. I'm just like scanning around to make sure I don't miss anything in terms of like alternate paths and such like, right? So we've looked at all of those. Is that another ladder? That is another ladder. Oh, yes, of course. No, that's where we entered from. Right, we've not been down this path. We entered via that hatch. Let's check this path, then. Oh, actually, no. First of all, I wanted to have a look at this weather, right? Because we've got storms below us. We have storms above us as well. Right, and that's where all the floating rocks live. Got it. But we're totally safe in the in-betweeny section. That's what he was saying in that journal. Yeah, no power. But okay, but the fact that we're underneath that elevator, we have made our way back to the main spire. And we are probably right at the bottom of it at the moment. I guess. Oh no, there is more beneath us still. Oh, of course there's more beneath us. We climbed up to get here. Obviously. Well, let's continue our ascent. Oh wow, we climbed all the way up that in one leap. Aha! We have another one of these things. Well, if I open it, do I still get the memory? No. Okay, so let's close it up and listen to that memory.
Idiot! You've run these calculations 1,000,000 times. Counterbalance the magnetic forces perfectly, otherwise the ship won't get out of the dock. And you do want to get out of the dock, don't you? After all these years of trying?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, we need to take what we learned from the first one and do it again here. Oh, but here we're already on number 2. So... do you know what? I'm not going to touch this one. I'm not going to touch this one until I've ridden the other one. Because I have a feeling that those two things might be connected to each other somehow. So, we ride it like a giant... oh no, no, we go inside of it. Cool. So he's sort of hollowed out the rock in the middle, has he? Go! Oh. That was actually well underwhelming. Fine. Well, this is awkward. No prior source indicated that Cirrus or Achenar received training in the art, but the reason is not clear. In Myst 1, Cirrus discusses the art as if it's just his father's interest. Presumably, they were just interested in benefiting from Atrus' work, which should have been an early warning sign. Yeah. Now here's a thing. Often, once a puzzle is solved... do I really want to fiddle with this one? Often, once a puzzle is solved, you can't then unsolve it. Come on, let's fiddle. Okay. So it's going to go disappear. But it's going to go disappear up there. So I wonder if we're supposed to do something with it up there before... Right. So these are the two electromagnets that Cirrus is always talking about, isn't it? The ones that need to counterbalance each other. No, that's taken them all down. Uh-oh, what's going on now? It's going higher still. Oh, okay. No, it's doing something. Everett's off to bed. Good luck exploring the rest of the work of the Mary Sue of engineering. You can't take this part of the game seriously. It has kind of the idea that someone living on their own, struggling for survival, has created all of this, does stretch the realms of believability. I do agree. Thank you very much for dropping by the stream, Everett. It's been great having you here. Have a great night. Cheerio. Okay, so I think this switch... No, I thought this switch maybe just moves the thing up and down. But that seems not to be the case. Ah, okay, you can't move that whilst it's... You can't move that whilst it's in the up position. Left gives us 1. And I'm also trying to keep an eye on this dial on the right as well. Oh yeah, no, can't move it. Right. Click that down. Right gives us nothing. Right and then left gives us 2. That gives us 3, which has gone into those crystals there. And now it's decided to go dock itself up there. Interesting, okay. Whoop, open. Oh no, we've got another electromagnet here. Wait, no, we'll turn this on. So I've got 3 on the thing above. No, that's now 4. 2. No, nothing happens. So you move it back there, you lose 2. That gains you 1. That then loses you 2. So now we're up to 5. And that moves this little gauge up to 5. So is this... Does that mirror that? So that gives 4. That gives 2 more, right? But no, pressing the button seems to just break the circuit entirely. And we've also got this thing, of course, which is a little bit like, what does this even do? Oh, hang on, wait, we've now got 3 lit up here. So do we need to try and get all 4 lit up at the top and these 3 lit up at the bottom? Sorry, all 7 lit up here, 3 lit up here. Is that the implication? That we're not trying to go for a specific number, we're trying to get all of them lit. So we go... Right, that's 4 and 2. What causes it to discharge into the crystals themselves, though? Because now we're up to 6 and 4. So if we move it this way, that's going to get them all lit. Oh, is it still doing stuff? Okay, so now none of these are lit, but all of these are lit. Okay. Do you reckon something's going to happen if we get the 4th one up the top lit? You wish they at least showed that to attempt to explain how he was able to work the metal. Okay, the thing's gone downwards there. So that gives 1 and then +2. Okay, that's all 4 lit now. Okay. Now this somewhat makes sense with the journal, right? Because first of all, we only had this one activated. And now we sort of have both of them activated. So, what have we got? All 7 are up. Yeah, still not doing very much though. And the other thing is... so where is the thing? The thing's hovering up there now. The other thing is we've got no lights over here, which implies that, well, so we've sort of taken the power out of these crystals and we've put it into here, because these are illuminated when they are these are illuminated when they have power. So the implication would be that we've taken the power out of them. This is still down at 4, which is a bit weird. I think we want this down at 2. The other thing which is a little bit strange is these wires, of course. They sort of go off towards the elevator as well, don't they? Because if we go up here, it's all sort of the same circuitry, is it? Oh! We have an elevator here now. We didn't have that before. An elevator taking us downward. Right. Okay, so what do we have then? More instructions. It was always there, we just hadn't come over to it. Oh, really? Oh, whoops. Always has been. Let's take a screen grab of that. Go over here. Oh dear, that's a little bit of an observation fail. Quartz samples visibly affected when cables 1, 2 set correctly and 3 is powered by less than 5 conductors. So 8, 12, 7 is a no, 8, 12, 6, 8, 12, 5, 8, 12, 4, fine. Must be nearing point of total molecular disruption. Will conduct one final test to be sure. Not sure how we'd use that in the current in our current thing, but we've got a lock. Yes. I don't always get stranded, struggling for survival, but when I do, I make sure I have locks for my doors, just in case this age isn't uninhabited after all. Yeah, more cables. Okay. I'm just making sure we don't miss anything here. But I don't think there's anything here for us right now. Yeah, you gotta watch out for them Karnaks. Right, so maybe we're not in the main spire then. Unless the unless it can go up as well as down, of course. Okay, so we're back where we were. Can we go up? Yeah, we can go up. See, we know your tricks, Cyan. We know your tricks. You gotta try and pull the lever both directions, of course. Okay, and this takes us back to where we were, yes? So, are these buttons now working? Because they certainly weren't working before. But okay, so we were in the main spire. It very much did look to me, though, that there should be another path that we should be able to access somehow. Does it not look like you should be able to get down there? Like, maybe not, but... So that's still up at 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You wonder how he got the rubber to insulate the wire. Maybe from the edible plants. I guess that's kind of the implication, because the picture we got from his little laboratory table, I don't know, yeah, kind of implies that there's... I'm assuming that these are his cables, these green ones. Don't know. Oh, interesting. You can't go further up, but I'm sure we've seen another elevator docking platform further up the spire. Yeah, just here. Right, so this is a different shaft. Okay, we're really going to have to pick apart his journal about what he said regarding... Yeah, and there's nothing else up here. Oh, hang on. There's something else up here. I don't think any of those are anything. We've already fiddled with that. Okay. So I think what we're needing to do then is I think we need to really kind of pick apart that journal entry about the 2 electromagnets. You know, assuming that I've not missed a path, which is not, like, not impossible at all. Oh no, that's not a path. That's just a pillar which has fallen. It's more like a window. Yeah, okay. Fine, fine. What do I make of the architecture? Well, so I'm assuming that the architecture is not Cirrus's own creation. I'm assuming this is like weird art magic where you can, you know, if you want to will a spire into existence, or a giant knife, or whatever it is that you want to will into existence, you totally can. The architecture, it's kind of a little bit like we've got the similar sort of crystal columns, don't we, as we had in Amateria. Right, so this is definitely the bottom. It does remind me a lot of Captar from Abduction, which I realise is a totally different developer. But yeah, I wonder if there was some inspiration there. Because even these columns are very similar to Captar, aren't they? So the thing's just sort of sitting in the middle now, which is kind of interesting. Can we interact with it in any way? Not really. But it's interesting. So it's kind of halfway. Now the default was that none of the crystals up the top were on. And we had the thing below set to 2. And that was enough to move this down. Now if this is set to 4... do we want to set the one below to 6? Right? Is the game being sort of that literal about balancing it? Maybe. I don't know. Although, if you lower the power here... Okay, well, first thing to establish, right, is this an indicator of how much power the electromagnet's producing, or is it more of an indicator as to how much power we're, like, holding back in charge? You find it interesting how Cirrus says the floating rocks are scientifically impossible, yet he's seen it in Amateria and Voltaic. That's true. The conclusion of those ages had floating rocks, didn't they? Those rocks weren't like naturally floating though, were they? Weren't they part of like a big machine that was doing something to swirl the rocks around? Although, I mean, I suppose the principle is sort of sound, right? Or what if we restart from 0? So turn that back on. Give me like... So you're activating 1, and then you're just turning it down. So there's 4. Okay, right, so we've got 4 lit here. Sounded like it did something else there, but okay. So we've got 4 and 4. The rocks here are just naturally floating. Yeah, which is a little bit strange. Although, as we've already discussed, yeah, you do kind of have them on Serenia anyway, don't you? Wait, why are we able to zoom into this rock?
Impossible.
Oh, right, okay, we've
Every
already heard the
scientific
memory.
principle I know tells me these rocks
Fine.
shouldn't be floating. And yet, somehow, they are. Don't know how you did it, Father. But if you can write it, I can certainly use it.
Oh, right, yeah, the floating rocks here are remarkable. The floating rocks in Serenia never get mentioned. Yeah, I guess so. Right, so the floating thing... So we turned it to 4 down there, and the floating thing has floated upwards. Right, so having 7 and 4, put it here. So we're definitely going to need less than that. We're definitely going to need less than that. Because if it's 7 and 4, and that puts it in the middle. If it was 0 and 2, it was at the right spot. So I reckon we're wanting to do like... Wait. If it was 0 and 2... Notes. Notes. Right. If it was if it was 0 and 2, let's just draw it up like a vector, then that's kind of like in the right spot. We can go for a ride, but it didn't actually work. 4 and 7 brings it to the midpoint, basically. If we go upstairs and turn the top off and we turn the bottom above 2, what's going to happen? So I'm thinking if 0 and 2 gets it in the right position, but the diary has been very explicit about like, oh no, we need an upper electromagnet to balance it, then we're looking more like 1, 3, or, you know, or 2, 4, or something like that. But obviously if it's 4, 6 wouldn't make any sense, because 4, 7 is already only mid, so 4, 6 would be higher than mid. So it's got to be something like you've got to overcome the stone's own kind of inclination to also float. So I'm thinking it's going to be something like 1, 3 or 1, 4 or something like that. But I don't know. Yeah, okay, let's try it. So we want to try and get 1 out of this. So we turn that off entirely, and what should happen is that should sink right to the ground. That's what this little thing is. This little dial is telling you where the thing currently is. Yeah? If we go down there right now, we should see it slightly above where we need it. Ugh, open. That is such a heavy thing. Why can't we just like... Yeah, see? Slightly above where we need it. Yaha. Right. Oh. Although this one seems to be giving vibes of like 2.5 rather than 3. Which is weird, isn't it? So, well, here's the thing. So we know that the top can't be 0 or 4. Because if it's 4, then no amount of power from the bottom brings the thing low enough. So the top either has to be 1, 2, or 3. And then we're just trying to balance it with the bottom. Nah, that's lit all 4 of them up, so it can't be that way. Undo. Okay. Right, that actually takes stuff away, does it? Fine. Okay, that gives us 3. Well, shall we check out if 3, 7 is also way too high? Because if 3, 7 is too high, then we can eliminate 3 entirely straight up as well. Now we can get 7 easily, I think, just by going to the right center, right center, right center. So think if you do that and then move it back, and then right again and back again. Oh, come on. And then right again. Then we get 7. And where's that going to put it? Yeah, too high. But slightly lower than with 4, 7. So we can eliminate 3 entirely. We can't get it low enough, even if we max it out. Okay, so we know it's got to be 1 or 2. Now the thing that I don't get is whether this pertains to this puzzle at all. 8, 12, 7, 8, 12, 6. But I don't think it does. Okay, so we want to get either 1 or 2. So I think let's do left and then do right, because I think left gives you 1, and then moving it to the center gives you 3, but then moving it to the right is going to take some out. There we go, that gives us 2. Perfect. That bead is also pretty much where we want it as well. So is 2, 7 the answer? Let's have a little look. Could be, could be. Okay, my friends. How are you feeling about this attempt? Amazing. Amazing. Excellent. Tiny trains in the chat. It took literal years for Cirrus to get here. Big moment. Yeah, I mean, Cirrus, though... I mean, we obviously had the advantage of all of the infrastructure having already been built for us. So, yeah, man. Tell you what, though, you'd have to be pretty brave to try that for the first time, because there's no way to call this rock back after you've sent it. So, did Cirrus literally just climb aboard and was like... Because I would be sort of interested to... Now, do you know what, right? Let's assume he had a big old rope, right, or a big old chain, tied a rope around it, stuck a Cirrus dummy inside to get the weight right, get the ballast correct, sent it going, and then when it was good, just pull it back, and then you're good, then you're all right. Excellent. Well, my friends, we're at 1:45. And this is going to be the end of today's episode. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, thank you very much for watching this episode. It's been great reading all of your comments, and it's been great seeing all of you watching the videos. So thank you very much, YouTube. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.